Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel and welcome to your daily energy check. Today we're going to do a special reading dedicated to the upcoming winter solstice. It is a winter solstice in northern hemisphere. It will be the summer solstice in southern hemisphere respectively. But I will speak about the northern hemisphere because the majority of my viewers are from the countries of northern hemisphere, and it's definitely near to my heart because that's where I've lived my entire life. So of course you can adjust that or look up additional information if you are from Australia, from Brazil, from any of the countries of the southern hemisphere. You might want to find that additional meaning for the summer solstice. But what I'm going to say, one thing is definitely the solstices of both winter and summer solstice are when the sun takes center stage, and it's definitely a very special time where the sun, as you know, is responsible. It's a masculine energy. It's responsible for taking action. It's responsible for motivating us, for supporting us, for also participating in the healing work that we do. You know, it's literally, it's associated with the fire element. It's literally firing us up to go and do. And winter solstice in particular is interesting, of course, because it's the shortest day of the year. It's when we see the sun like for the shortest period of time up in the sky in front of us. But that also makes it a very potent time in terms of our inner manifestation. This is this is not the time to necessarily run and take action, but this is definitely the time to set intentions. This is going to be one of the questions that I'm going to be asking in the reading today. Of course, we're going to put it in the context of the twin flame journey. It's likely I will be doing some guided messages for zodiac signs as well, but it will be on my different channel, Mindful Bamboo. There's a handle in the description box, and it will come out some point this week. The peak of the solstice on the 21st of December, but I'm posting this video a little bit in advance so you can prepare. And obviously the energy is already very, very strong, and essentially the peak of the solstice on the 21st is like the inception moment, right? Read it as the time of manifestation, where it's really important to be in that high vibe energy and to have that vision and to sort of live that reality that you want to create. All these best practices that we have from the good book of manifestation. And then between the winter solstice and up till the New Year's, the energy will be growing, and that's where that kind of cooking is going to happen for the universe to start bringing in what those things that you've manifested. And it's also a great time to start taking action towards the manifestations that you have made, meaning that you will show the universe that you're not just a viewer. You're not just making a wish and on a star and just sitting and waiting, right? But it's important to you, and you are ready to take action and to follow guidance and to follow the path really that will take you to that version of happiness, whatever that is for you. It's also a great time to connect to your higher power, to your guides, to your ancestors for deeper healing, right? So this is where we are almost like we are able to turn on our inner sun energy, right? And that will help us heal on the physical level, on the emotional level, whichever aspect of your health and wellness is more relevant to you at this time. With all that said, I am going to turn to our reading. So as I already mentioned, it's going to be a special spread. I will still go with checking the energy for the feminine and the masculine collective separately. The first question is going to be, what do we need to know for the manifestation at this time, right? Like, what is the message from the guides, from the universe, from the higher power on how to make the most out of this manifestation time? The second one is going to be, what is it that we are healing and putting closure to at this time? and what are the patterns, or what are the scenarios that could be part of your meditation, or part of your affirmations, or maybe part of your mediumship kind of conversation with your guides. And then the third part is going to be messages in love. Well, actually, no, the third part of this tarot is going to be the action that we are supposed to take at this time, right? So some kind of advice, some kind of guidance. And being in a certain state might also be that kind of action. So don't be surprised that that's what it's going to say. And then at the end, I'll put some messages in love for each of the twin collectives. So that will be more to guide you through what is relevant in terms of your love life, whether it's with your twin, with a soulmate, even with a karmic, even if you're single. What do you need to know? Because this time is potent for any and every area of your life, including, of course, your romantic relationship. All right, and before I start with tarot, you know I'm a big junkie for the oracle messages, and I decided to go with the archetypes cards this time because I feel like it's very appropriate to the grandiosity of the event that we are experiencing this week. Me, one of the ways I'm celebrating or doing my rituals is I'm gonna be at the ecstatic dance tomorrow. It's gonna be pretty epic. If you're in New York City, definitely subscribe to Ecstatic Dance NYC. They have so many great events and great DJs and healers that, and facilitators who help to bring the audience into the dance vibe, and then at the end do a closing ceremonies, all kinds of stuff happening. It's going to be, I think her name is a Snow Raven, the DJ is going to be doing a set for the winter solstice, and I'm so excited. I just can't wait. For me, dance is one of the main rituals to honor, to show respect, and also to rejoice in my own right. But of course, do whatever speaks to you at this time. So, feminines, your card is the mentor, number 6. So, are you becoming a mentor to someone? It's time for you to become a mentor. That's what I'm hearing for a lot of feminines. This is the time for you to visualize what your type of mentorship is going to look like. What kind of audience do you want to attract and be mentor for? What is the scope of knowledge and experience that you have that you can mentor people in, right? This is like the next step in your light worker journey. If you are already a mentor, then this could be something new, right? Stay open-minded in terms of the topics, right? Or the kind of people you work with. So your status quo in mentorship will be questioned. If you are looking for a mentor, then this is a sign that your mentor is looking for you as well, symbolically speaking, because just like you don't necessarily have a name, they don't have your name. But stay open, set that intention, and you'll find each other in no time. All right, for masculines, we have 24, which is also a 6. Interesting. The sustainer. Wow, you know what? I might actually look up the message for this one. It's a very interesting message. Bear with me. Hopefully you like my new decoration. This is inspired by my recent trip to Greece. Such a wonderful journey. Okay. The sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks are unglamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. So there is, as with everything, there are two sides to this coin, right? So it can be energy that's very supportive and reliable, hence, this is talking about you divine masculines, and a lot of us as empaths thrive in that energy of being dependable for other people. But there's still a danger of becoming a saver, a rescuer, let's call it that way, rescuer in the drama triangle of the victim, perpetrator, and rescuer, right? So you don't want to be stuck in the rescuer role, because essentially that's still gonna keep you trapped. It's gonna keep you limited, and it's essentially a codependent pattern. So it's not something that you want to sustain for a long time, right? So everything in moderation, and see for yourself how much of the current activities, responsibilities, and relationships are worth sustaining. Okay, let's move on to tarot. We're doing 6 cards, and I'll get some guidance as well. Bottom of the deck here is Ace of Cups, by the way, so that's a big guidance for your inception, twin flames, right? What is bringing more love into your life? Not what makes your ego feel good, not what keeps you in familiar patterns, because that's the kind of relationships that you've had since childhood, for example, right? Or maybe there's a story you're telling yourselves, like, there's no ideal partner, everybody's got their thing, or, like, yeah, I mean, this is not too bad, I can live with that. And I mean, I'm not saying that any of those are wrong necessarily, right? But if it leads you to staying in an unhappy dynamic, if, you find out that you're actually doing 80% of the work in the relationship on the regular basis, right? And the other person doesn't really care too much, right? That's definitely something to think about, or at least to have that conversation with them. Because, a lot of us are not comfortable with those kind of conversations, and that's where the problem begins. And I'm speaking from my own experience. So that's something I'm learning, and it's definitely going to be something I'll be manifesting during the solstice, to be able to see what's going on and to be able to speak my truth. 10 of Pentacles, look at that. Yeah, when you speak your truth, abundance arrives naturally, right? Because you are showing the universe that you have high value, that you have high worth, right? And then the universe reflects that back to you through relationships, through mirroring that love back, and through abundance in resources. So the first question is, what do we need to know for the manifestation process during winter solstice? And the first pair of cards is for the feminine energy. Knight of Swords clarified by Page of Swords. Very interesting that in both cases it's the feminine figure, right? I was just talking about communication and speaking your truth. So there's something here that you're learning about expressing yourself. And it's very important not just to whatever you're manifesting, not just keep it a secret or keep it to yourself. We are taught in a good book that, if you tell somebody what your wish is, it may not come true. But this is not that case. I'm just trying to get you guys to see the tree candle, because it's so beautiful and it burns pretty quickly. So let's enjoy it while it lasts. So there is certain magic in the way that you speak about who you are, where you are right now in your life. And if we're talking about a relationship, that's speaking where it aligns with your truth and where it doesn't, where you feel uncomfortable, where you don't understand the current dynamic, right? So this is definitely something that seems daunting at first, but once you get started, that's what I'm hearing. Once you get started, it will get easier and easier, and you'll fall in love with it, right? It's how good it feels to be able to speak your truth. And then for, like, my goodness, the other person reflects back, you know, they make changes, right? And life becomes easier suddenly. You don't have to just put up with everything quietly, you can talk. For the masculines, we see the world clarified by Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, very interesting, right? Because for the masculines, it's important to understand that there is like a bigger scale of manifestation and a smaller scale, right? And in the bigger scale, it's that scale where anything is possible. I don't know, you want to be a millionaire, you want to travel around the world, you want this, you want that, anything, right? You want to be master particular skill or craft, whatever, right? But we need to do reality checks when we dream big. So nobody's saying don't dream big, but make sure that when you are manifesting in this during this time, that you also have a shorter term plan as well, right? With understanding in mind that, yeah, you may not know necessarily like the 1,000 steps that you need to take to get to that big dream, but you need to know at least 10 first steps. Well, at least, you know, at least a few first steps. Doesn't have to be 10. For your mind, first of all, to agree to this and to collaborate, right? It's important to keep that aligned. If it's unrealistic and non-believable, then there's always going to be a dissonance between your mind and your heart. And we don't want that. It doesn't have to be that way. Right? And that's also something that you'll be able to take action. And that's going to be an important next step, to start taking action once you've set your intention. The second question is, what are we putting behind? What are we finding closure for during this time? Feminines, Knight of Wands clarified by King of Cups. Look at those court cards. Yeah, in this case they're masculine. No, actually Knight of Wands is feminine. So who are you jumping through hoops for, divine feminines? You need to stop doing that. Stop putting your masculine on a pedestal, or whoever else your figure of authority is that seems so great, that seems to know so much, and you just can't get enough of them, whoever that is, right? Like, these are the things that you need to stop, and you're ready to do anything for them, right? Like, they shouldn't be people that you are just tiptoeing around out of reverence or out of fear. Like, it doesn't really matter whether it's adoration or, you know, you're terrified. It's not balanced. It's not lasting. It's going to be draining your energy. So this needs to be put behind. You are your own icon, if you wish, right? There's your higher power, and then there's you. And then everybody else is like on level 50. So there's a big gap there. That's how less important they are in terms of, you know, energy and how you organize your life. Masculines, you've got Knight of Pentacles again, clarified by the Sun. Well, actually, I spoke a lot about the Sun, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I would just say, since we have a repetition of this card, that the thing you need to put behind is asking, you know, like a little kid in the car when there's like a long ride, and the little kid would be asking, like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So stop asking that directly or figuratively in any way, right? Everything is unfolding in divine timing, divine masculine, right? And if anything, if you feel like you're behind or you're going too slow or something like that, think about the healing that's happening on the back of it, right? Where it may not be moving in the physical form forward as fast as you want it, but know at that moment that there's a lot of inner child healing happening on the back end, and it's necessary for you to be able to be successful in this path that is aligned for you. What is the advice for action at this time? For feminines, it's Three of Pentacles, clarified by the Emperor. Yes, once you set intentions, you'll need to really, well, first of all, the vision is important, that you're in charge, that it's possible. But it doesn't mean that you'll need to do everything on your own, divine feminine, right? If you feel like based on your exercise of creating that vision and setting intention that you won't be able to do it by yourself, then think of who do you need or what kind of questions you have open, and ask the divine to send you people who can help with those questions, right? It takes a village, and there's nothing wrong with it. Actually, this is something that you're also supposed to master, right? For the masculines, we see the Lovers clarified by also Three of Pentacles. I mean, seriously, Three of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. It's a little different Three of Pentacles in this deck, I must admit. But it's almost like this is about the loving choice, really. And to me, it has something to do with the Sustainer, and of course, with the Ace of Cups that we saw at the beginning. But what it's also saying that, you know, whatever the partnership is during this time, it's not supposed to be transactional, and it's not supposed to be just to do specific tasks and then the person leaves you, right? It's something much bigger, much deeper, right? So don't put a label on the partnership that comes in during this time. If anything, ask a question if there is love in that situation. And it doesn't have to be a romantic partner either, because a lot of people, when they see Lovers, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But in this deck specifically, it's a bird and a girl, right? This could be friendship, this could be business partnership. But whatever it is, it's like you guys have found each other. It's that vibe, right? And somehow you know just the way to support each other at a difficult time. And that's what you will need. So respond to that, divine masculine, and trust that process. Okay, last but not least, messages in love. First for divine feminines watching. Of course, guys, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps circulate the word and, you know, to make sure that people are getting these important messages. Talking and girl with a snake, very interesting. So you see, it brings us into talking again. We just had that Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. Interested, conversing more, message arrives, email, call, text, hoovering. You know, it can be a different kind of message. And then, of course, girl with a snake is the impasse narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used. It's about boundaries. So pay attention to the communication at this time, your own communication, and communication coming from your person if you have some. You know, it's important. The words that we use are important. The way we talk about ourselves is important. The way we are either self-centered or we're able to respond to someone else's hardship is important, right? And I'm not going to just put a label on it like, think if your person is a narcissist. No, it doesn't have even to be that way, right? It's just given it's one of the options here in that kind of cloud of different ideas. But the person doesn't have to be a narcissist to have a codependent relationship or to be self-centered. Maybe it's from the way they were brought up. Maybe it's from their previous relationships and that experience that they're used to it, right? Whatever it is, keep checking, keep asking if the communication is healthy on both ends. What do we have for the masculines? Soulmates, wow, and both. So soul connection, soul contract, partnership, and receiving what you need, arriving, moving on, right? So it's important for you to move on from the past pain, from the past puzzle of divine masculines in order to be able to find you, to attract your soulmate, right? It's not really about going out and looking out there. It's about attracting the person with the right energy. So like we were saying, in this reading, continue, you know, assessing like the sustainer, you know, What are you nurturing? What are you sustaining in your life? Is it worth sustaining? Is it bringing value, right? If it's a past relationship that brought you a lot of heartache, doesn't have closure yet, then this is a perfect time for you to ask the higher power and the guides to help you with this healing, right? And the energy of sun more than anything else. Okay, I am gonna finish here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, share it with others. I do appreciate everything. Of course, I have links for donations and the Amazon list, and you can book a personal reading with me through my website or by emailing me. All right, I love you all, and until next time.